So, Namaskar, welcome to another talk show organized by the Credent TV. And today, for this afternoon show, we have with us Dr. Ruupa Rao. And Dr. Ruupa is an ICF PCC coach and is a psychologist. Welcome, ma'am, to our show. We're very happy to welcome you for the talk show on implementing positive psychology at schools for a more resilient and optimistic future generation. Namaskar, ma'am. Swagat hai.
Namaskar. Thank you, Cherry.
Ma'am, we would really want to first of all know from you about positive psychology. What should we as commoners understand by positive psychology?
Okay, so that's a nice question. Yeah, obviously, positive psychology is a relatively new concept into the world itself because it was properly introduced to the world in 2000, though it was mentioned in 1954 by Abraham Maslow. But it was given a serious, notice by Martin Seligman in 1960-65. Actually, like whenever we speak about psychology, people think it's for mentally disordered people, people who are depressed, who have anxiety. But Martin Seligman noticed even the common people with the help of positive psychology. When we focus on strength, and also when we focus on their traits, the strength. See, normal psychology focuses on the weakest weaknesses. So what you are not good at, but positive psychology focuses on the strength. And also it says that with the help of positive traits, you can improve your performance. You can come out of all the disorders that you can prevent. It's a kind of tools to prevent, like there is a vaccination hota hai na? So similarly a kind of vaccination, and or to the mind. And also it is a tools, set of tools and techniques. It has lot of, it itself is a positive psychology itself is a division of psychology, a major division of psychology, where numerous researchers are going on and they are getting the positive result, especially in the school education areas. So that's about positive psychology.
Right, ma'am. So, ma'am, when we talk of positive psychology at schools, तो हम schools में कैसे implement करें? Because psychology, जैसे आपने बहुत ही clearly कहा कि लोग psychology सुनते ही सोचते हैं कि it is about some kind of mental health, and it is still a taboo word हमारे लिए.
Okay. Yeah. How do we implement? Actually, there are, if we speak about our own culture in India, okay, like we have a culture, like we have been brought up with a culture, like listening to the Bhagavad Gita or Mahabharata or some of their own religious things, which has a lot of positive values in it. Like each of us have religions, but later on, the schools have transferred from their, the original, like from this religious or from these values, like in fact I can say moral values, happiness. Say back in 500, before 500 age, like there Aristotle you would have heard. So he says the motto of education should be happiness. The education should give happiness. But if you see right now, the education is not giving what it is supposed to give, but it is giving everything else. So as a common man, what I want the happiness, and I want the the life fulfillment. And also I wanted to say one thing. Last 97, say if you take the 1997 to 2020, there are a hell lot of variations in the number of students getting suicide. So if you say in 1997 it was 1300 suicides were there, but rate, like very recently we have gone around in 2020 21 research, I mean a survey they have made, they have got it as it's more than 13,000 to 14,000. So it's all obviously around 10 times more than what it is. So what it says, positive psychology is very essential, in the sense like we are not developing the children with the resilience. That is what I want when I say developing the resilience in the children, because so failure to like life ka hissa hai, so failure is a part of life, and we have to get to it. But then right now the children have been coming up with the only one idea: win, 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 win. So when everyone like it's a game, someone wins and someone defeats, but it doesn't mean that they have to be whole life they have to they'll never win. So all these concepts are there with the positive psychology. So how do we implement? There is a big circle about it. Like I'll speak about it in your next question.
एब्सोल्युटली सही बोल रहे हैं मैम आप एंड दिस इज अ वेरी गुड पॉइंट दैट ये जो एक अर्ज टू विन है ये बहुत ज्यादा हो गई है एंड एक्सेप्टेंस ऑफ फेलियर बहुत कम हो गया है बच्चों में दे गेट वेरी डिसहार्टेंड इफ दे विल नॉट गेट द मार्क्स दे वांट या जो चीज चाहिए वो नहीं मिली और यहीं पे पॉजिटिव साइकोलॉजी का हम देखते हैं बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है
Correct. Yeah.
so how would you establish the relevance of positive psychology in today's education scenario.
Yeah, actually, when we speak about the positive psychology, implementing the positive psychology, it has to be implemented as a curriculum. Okay, like Martin Seligman has been successful implementing it in the various schools. Either it's Great Britain or in Australian schools, a number of schools who and all have shown interest. They have come back, like they got a result that it is the students have shown great performance, the students have shown great marks, discipline, and resilience, and also the persistency, the discipline, the like doing a thing with the proper persistence, so they can continue with that work. So how do we implement? Actually there is a 8 weeks online or offline establishment is there, where we give the test training to the teachers as well as to the children, and every week there is an intervention, and how this positive psychology is being implemented. So for example, happiness module, we have happiness module, we have resilience module, we have optimism modules, and we have hope modules, and we do 21 days, 48 days kind of interventions, kind of treatment. I mean, we are giving like there will be an online counselor for the children, like if they can contact, if they are the teachers, like through the teachers they can contact us and they can get to those. There's a big process. First you learn, live the life of the positive, learn positive psychology, live the life of the positive psychology, teach the positive way of the positive psychology, adopt it in the love life. It's a cycle, big cycle, and that's how at least in the future we will not see so many suicide tendencies. And if you see Quora, there are many people, they say I am depressed, I want to suicide because I haven't been able to clear my JEE emails. I couldn't clear my UPSC examinations. You see, just even now you can just search, you'll see so many questions. Why? Like how to get suicide without pain? This is the one of the students of 16 years, he asked this question. So all these things shows need of the resiliencies and optimism. Hope and optimisms are very important at this time.
सो मैम फॉर अ कॉमन स्टूडेंट आप एक बहुत जनरल बच्चा अगर हम क्लासरूम में देखें सो हाउ विल यू डिफाइन रेजिलियंस फॉर मे बी 15-year-old स्टूडेंट.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. You see a ball and you throw it from the top and it hits the floor and it bounces back. That's what we call as resilience. Okay, hit a ball on the wall and it comes back to you.
बिल्कुल.
So that is called as resiliency. So we can also
बिल्कुल.
say rise from the ashes.
हाँ
So
जैसे फिनिक्स.
there are many people, if you see in the history or even now, though those who have got into a very big problem, but still they are being able to rise. So that kind of mentality should be there. If you see, like I want to speak small thing about the genetics over here. There are certain children like who are able to get through this all the hardest in their lives. So they get fail and they just go they move on. But there is some people they will not be able to do it. Why? Because there is something called as genetics. what the genetics says is 40 to 50% is from your like birth characteristics. 40 to 50%, and otherwise I can say 40% is from birth characteristic, and 50% is birth characteristics, and 40% is that you can learn, and another 10% is that life those like we learn from the life. That's what we say, no, life teaches for everyone. So that is a 10%. So for those 40, for the children with the minimum resiliency, minimum positivity, they need this training. And at the same time, for the remaining children also it helps. This is how the resiliency is being developed. Like we see with the different kind of children with different thing will have it.
तो जैसे मैम वी ऑल्सो हैव नो आजकल हम बहुत ज़्यादा बात करते हैं अबाउट डिफरेंशिएटेड इंस्ट्रक्शन कि सब बच्चों के हिसाब से उन्हें पढ़ाना होता है तो क्या रेजिलेंट होने के लिए भी अलग अलग टेक्निक्स हमें ज़रूरत होंगी बच्चों को अलग अलग तरह के बच्चों के लिए
Actually, when we say resilience, we teach them through the moral stories. We teach them like how they can develop it. Resiliency is a process. If you have a hope and optimism, then you will get the resilience automatically. Okay, now I have got failed, but tomorrow definitely I will get success. This is what will be motivate towards the resilience, being resilient. Okay, so otherwise, no, when you don't have hope, when you lose hope, and you're not optimistic, so then there is no resilience, because we feel this is our fate and we have to get through it. We have to go through it, and suffering to हमारा life का part है. That's what they feel, and
हाँ
you see so many people, right? Okay, I will give you an example of a elephant. Okay,
हम्म
sorry, forget about belief. How a belief of, like there like how the belief can be modified easily. There is something called as fly circuses in late
हाँ
very in 1945. These house flies we call, no, like they used to make a
जी
circus
जी
out of them. So like how they used to teach the circus techniques to those people, those flies, no, they used to keep all those flies in a jar, and
हम्म
we used to limit that flying capacity of that flies. So like whenever the fly was like, it's a very very small circle, small jar. In that jar the fly was supposed to go fly, and when it is not able to fly, then it thought us, okay, I cannot fly above this particular area, so this is my limit. So that's how the limitation formed. So we call this as learned helplessness. Just a big elephant, a very big elephant can be tied with a small rope, and it thinks that I don't have any, I cannot come out of this, I cannot break this rope. Similarly, like our beliefs also forms, and our hope also gets into the, we call this as learned helplessness. So positive psychology teaches you move from learned helplessness to learned optimism. Learn optimism and move on.
So there are ways in which optimism can also be learned because हम ऐसा समझते हैं या मानते हैं and our society also believes कि optimism एक ऐसी चीज है जो inherent है. But can we learn optimism?
Yes, we can learn. There are n number of exercises we give to the students during the training, weekly ones. So that's what I said, like it's a 1 year project. If any schools or the colleges are interested, we can implement it in their schools. We can show the result. So it's a 1 year process where children can be more resilient, children can be more optimistic, and actually there is something called as gratitude and appreciation. We have forgotten appreciating the things what we have right now, especially the children. They feel everything is granted. Whatever they have got, it's been granted, and they don't need to work with that. I mean, they don't have to say gratitude, be grateful to that. There is something called as instant gratification also plays a very big role. What is that instant gratification? Like you see a child and he shows a big good behavior, and immediately you give him, reward him with something. Okay, you ask him, okay, tomorrow you do this, and you will get it. So now we are not making the child to wait, we are not teaching the child to wait, we just give it immediately. So child, what he thinks, for my hard work I will get immediate gratification, instant gratification, and he follows that only. That's the result why we are seeing the suicide tendencies in the children. I do hard work and I have to get immediate result. So these are also the factors.
So, ma'am, when you talk of this instant gratification of any kind of needs, तो आजकल
Mhm.
हम देखते हैं it is the times of fast food and life has become very fast and a lot of influence of social media is what we look at. So,
Correct.
would you also say that there are so many factors which are actually leading to this detriment in children? और उसमें social media एक role play करता है.
Yeah, it plays a very big role. You rightly said it. Social media, Twitter, sorry, the especially many other things, many apps have come now, which we like Instagram and then Clubhouse. So wherever they just they post their photo and they need that like and looking beautiful and they go behind it. They've just mentioned that's why they take risky behaviors too. If you have seen, they take risky behaviors and they post it on this social media. And also social media has got another, actually social media is good, but how the teenagers are being used, like teenagers are using it, is another way. Social media is good just for like it's for connection. It plays a very good role. So but when it happens to with the social, well, like he's there and he sees his friend. Actually, I just wanted to tell one of the story of a teenager. He wanted 80 is one a mobile of 18,000 90 say 20,000 rupees mobile, smart mobile, and he insisted that he wants it immediately, and parents were not in a position to give him immediately. They asked him to wait, and he said, all my friends are taking their beautiful pics and they're uploading in the social media, and I am the one, I'm using this kharab mobile.
पुराना
And why
मोबाइल हाँ
kharab ka mobile, okay, and why you people have given when you can't fulfill our needs, why did you give the bird to us? This is the literally
एग्जैक्टली.
question that was asked. That is there.
So, ma'am, what do you feel that things like these, when they are shared through social media with one another, children they start talking like this also because they are influenced.
Yeah, it is. So probably like I actually right now we don't have a solution that can control the social media, because social media has their like they also give some of the 18 years and all those things, but definitely these teenagers are much smarter than handling them.
हाँ.
Even it does 10 years can pretend as 18 and above and he can use.
And
Only
make
thing
the
what
account.
we,
Yes.
yeah, only thing what we can do is implement including the moral values. That is the, I say that's the way positive psychology comes into picture. Okay, we cannot monitor the children all over the life, but once if we instill this positive psychology has values, a lot of values. From the age of 5 years to 18 years, you will see tremendous changes in the children's mentality. And also, of
So,
course, I would want to say one thing: even teachers at the schools needs this particular training. As positive psychology practitioner, I've seen even teacher needs this training. Yes.
so, ma'am, if I would recall my school days or childhood days, we always have had a class or a period of value education, which right now, if we look at, बहुत जगह नहीं होती है. So, do you think that value education was something which is important या होनी ही चाहिए?
Yeah, actually, that is important. Value education is very important. She gives a lot of stories and all, but I'm not sure if any schools are giving importance to it. There is a rule that moral value needs to be, value education needs to be there, so they have it. Even life skills, like implementing the life skills, also, I'm seeing like how effectively they have been implemented. No, not yet. Because all the schools and colleges are eyeing on only marks, how much marks we can show, and where is when our where our ranks are going. So are we in
बिल्कुल.
first rank or second rank? So I think the schools and colleges needs to give a lot of change notice attention to this factor. The motto of education is not just getting the marks. The motto of education is molding a student and taking him or her into the social life, the proper social life.
So रूपा मैम टेल मी एज एन एजुकेटर आई एम कंसर्न कि मैं अपने बच्चों को सही गाइड करूं. इफ आई एम डीलिंग विद टीनेजर्स, what would you say or what is your advice for a person who will interact with teenagers? मैं कैसे गाइड करूं अपने बच्चों को कि वो रेजिलियंस डेवलप करें एंड फेलियर से लड़ पाएं?
Perfect. So there is something called as intelligent fast failure. Okay, so make your child to learn to fail. Let him learn and accept the failure. So like, if you see, the University of Peninsula, they have a course on how to fail before even creativity, before even thinking innovativity. That is called as intelligent fast failure. How intelligently you can fail and you can come up with another idea. So the first thing is learn as to teach them to fail. It's okay. Like, no, I'm like, I know most of the colleges and parents may be thinking like, why is she telling to fail? So once if it is them fail, then they will come up with the innovative ideas. Okay, then they'll come up with the, accepting the failure. And second thing, avoid giving them instant rewards. Don't give them the instant rewards, make them wait. Teach them whatever is possible from your side. And very importantly, as a parent or as a teacher, you be a model, role model to the teenager, that how you have to be there before even telling them. This is
Also,
one thing.
ma'am, yes, what you've said, rightly said, is actually a very important point. Sometimes, no, I feel ki why should every action have some kind of affirmation in the form of कि ये किया तो ये मिलेगा. अभी mothers भी I see at no in many places बच्चों को भी are bringing up with this. तुम ये करोगे तो मैं तुम्हें ये दूंगी. So they have that terms and conditions apply वाला के साथ में हम अपने बच्चों को बड़ा कर रहे हैं. TNC apply. So
Yes, choice and consequences. Yeah,
हाँ, तो बहुत ज़्यादा ऐसा ऐसा करने से भी बच्चों को शायद ये एक इंटरनलाइज़ हो जाती है हैबिट कि अच्छा है, कुछ भी करने से पहले दे वेट कि इसके बाद क्या मिलेगा?
correct. You
सो
are
व्हिच शुड
rightly
आल्सो नॉट बी.
perfect. Should be avoided.
जी, जी. So thank you so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure to have you over with us for this talk on how to implement positive psychology in schools. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure our listeners and our children who were listening to us today, they've been able to learn very good tips from you. So thank you
Mm-hmm.
for joining us. Have a good evening ahead. Namaskar on behalf of Credent TV and all the children who joined us for this talk. Thank you so much, Rupa ma'am. It was pleasure
Thank
having you.
Thank you, Cherry, and thank you, Credit TV, and thank you for the people who are here seeing it. And it's my honor to get this opportunity to speak about this my favorite topic about positive psychology. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.